Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so if you're a focused learner who just got their hands on a new MoErgo keyboard, you are in exactly the right place. Today we're going to unpack how to master this incredibly powerful device without the endless frustration. Without feeling like a toddler trying to type with two left hands, which is usually what happens when adopting a radically new layout. We are going to learn smarter, not just longer.
Okay, let's dive into this right away. Why did your typing speed just completely plummet, right? Like, if you're staring at your new MoErgo and wondering why you suddenly type like you've literally never seen a keyboard before, seriously, don't panic. You are not just learning something new here, you're actually unlearning decades of deeply ingrained bad typing habits. Your brain and your fingers are quite literally rewiring themselves, and the data shows that takes immense cognitive effort.
To get you through this transition smoothly, here is our roadmap. First, the ergonomic typing shift. 2, building smart practice routines. 3, prioritizing technique over speed. 4, mastering MoErgo-specific features. 5, mixing up training tools. And finally, measuring long-term success.
All right, let's start right at the beginning with Section 1, the ergonomic typing shift, a major physical change.
So, typing on a split, contoured ergonomic board like the MoErgo, it isn't just a simple layout change. It is a fundamental physical shift in how your hands actually operate. Just look at the stark contrast between the traditional row stagger, the one you grew up with, and this new columnar stagger. On a staggered keyboard, your fingers are constantly forced to reach diagonally, which causes all these little microstrains. But on this layout, your fingers move in a highly efficient straight up and down motion. I know, it feels totally weird at first, but it turns out this columnar stagger is the absolute secret to pain-free typing.
And hey, it's not just the columns. Think about traditional keyboards. They completely waste your strongest digits, your thumbs, on one giant spacebar. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, but by shifting to active thumb clusters, your thumbs suddenly handle space, backspace, enter, and your modifiers. The big takeaway here is that you're actively shifting the heavy lifting away from your weakest, strain-prone kinky fingers and handing that job directly to your strongest digits.
Moving right along to Section 2, building smart practice routines. It's all about deliberate practice.
Listen, the absolute biggest mistake you can make right now is aggressive, brute force repetition. You might be thinking you need to hammer at the keys for hours on end to catch up to your old speed. No way. Instead, aim for 30 to 60 minutes. That is the daily recommended practice time. Literally, that's it. In fact, overdoing it, that'll likely just cause frustration and physical tension, which actually slows down your learning process.
The real key here is breaking that time up into bite-sized chunks. Think maybe 10 minutes in the morning, 15 during your lunch break, and 20 in the evening. And why does this matter? Well, frequent, short sessions give your brain way more opportunities to reinforce these new motor movements. Especially that evening session. Practicing right before you go to sleep actually helps your brain process and consolidate those new motor skills overnight. Oh, and please, remember this golden rule. If you ever feel tension or pain in your hands, wrists, or shoulders, stop immediately. Practice should reinforce relaxed, efficient movements, never tension.
Next up is Section 3, prioritizing technique over speed. This means ignoring words per minute, at least initially. Now, this requires a major mindset shift. Make this sequence your absolute golden mantra. 1, accuracy. 2, consistency. 3, muscle memory. And finally, 4, speed. Seriously, if you try to rush to step 4 right away and you repeatedly type mistakes at high speed, you are quite literally just hardwiring those mistakes straight into your brain. You've got to slow down enough to consistently hit the correct key with the correct finger first.
To help you build that absolutely crucial accuracy, here's some highly practical advice. First off, keep your eyes on the screen. Because of the contoured keywell and those thumb clusters, looking down will honestly only disorient you. If you get lost, just pause, feel for those physical homing bumps on your home row, and reset your hand position deliberately. Second, and this is super cool, it turns out turning on typing sounds on your computer isn't just a gimmick. Hearing each keystroke actually gives you an additional sense of rhythm. So instead of typing in fast, uneven bursts, you can use the audio feedback to listen for a really smooth, consistent cadence.
That brings us to Section 4, mastering MoErgo-specific features. Let's unlock that unique power. Okay,
So the concept of layers can be incredibly intimidating for new users, but it really helps to think of layers not as a complicated web of hidden keys, but as entirely new keyboards you can instantly summon. That completely changes the paradigm, doesn't it? It's like a superpower. Don't try to memorize every single shortcut all at once. Just start with the essentials, like summoning your number pad layer or your arrow and symbol layer, and let your mental map naturally expand over time.
Now it's time for a slightly tough truth. Configure deliberately, then practice consistently. Because the MoErgo is fully programmable using ZMK software, the temptation is to constantly tweak your layout every single time you make a typo or get a little frustrated. But it turns out, every single time you move a key, you're essentially hitting the reset button on your brain's muscle memory progress. So unless a key is causing actual physical discomfort, leave it alone. Just leave it be and focus on the practice.
Let's move to Section 5, Mixing Up Training Tools. It's time to train different skills.
Relying on just one standard typing app isn't really going to cut it here, because different tools train entirely different physical skills. For instance, you might have seen the term engram floating around in typing communities. An engram is simply a common letter sequence in language, like th, he, ing, or in. Practicing these individual sequences isn't just about speed, because the MoErgo's unique columnar layout completely changes how your fingers travel between keys. Practicing engrams develops this beautifully fluid motion called finger rolling, and that is absolutely crucial for mastering this specific ergonomic shape.
So your comprehensive training toolkit should look a bit like this. Use Kebra to target your weak links and identify specific problem keys that are slowing you down. Use engram drills to build that awesome finger-rolling fluidity we just talked about. Now, if you're a programmer, heavily dedicate time to symbol and punctuation drills, especially since your standard operators likely live on a brand new layer for you now. And finally, whatever you do, don't neglect real-world typing. Typing out actual emails, writing code, or just firing off Discord messages is strictly necessary. It's the only way to practice capitalization, punctuation, and all that unusual vocabulary that basic typing tests completely miss.
And this brings us to our final step, Section 6, Measuring Long-Term Success. Let's talk about tracking real progress. This entire phase is all about patience, so the crucial point here is how you actually track this progress over time. Go ahead and set up a simple tracker with columns for date, words per minute, accuracy, and errors. But here's the real trick. Only log your stats once or twice a week. Seriously, if you obsess over your numbers every single day, the natural daily fluctuations will literally drive you crazy. Remember, we are looking for long-term trends, not daily victories. Some days you're going to feel blazingly fast, and other days you'll feel like you've completely forgotten where the C key is. Actually, that is entirely normal. Just stay relaxed and trust the process.
Learning a split, contoured, columnar keyboard is a massive motor learning process. It takes time and it definitely takes patience. But always remember this, every single fast MoErgo typist out there started exactly where you are right now, feeling totally awkward, slow, and probably a bit frustrated. So if you embrace the shift and apply the smart, deliberate practice routines we've unpacked in this explainer, well, what will your typing speed look like a month from today? The hardware is ready, the layout is waiting, the rest is entirely up to you. Happy typing.